Good evening and welcome. I am Vance Smith, former Trail of Tears District Chair, currently serving as the Vice President, District Operations for the Council. If you would, bow your head for an opening prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather tonight together, we thank you for this day and your purpose for it. Please reset our agendas as we prepare ourselves to serve your people. Father, we give special thanks to you for the life of Emily Lynn Binkston, daughter of Karen and Carl. Comfort her family during this difficult time. While we live in an uncertainty here on earth, we rest in your promise of life everlasting. We thank you for this group of volunteers assembled tonight. Please watch over us and guide us through this meeting and until we gather again. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. So thank you for your confidence in us to conduct this orientation. Our goal tonight is to improve district operations throughout our council. District operations are at the heart of everything we do. 2021 is a real opportunity for the Middle Tennessee Council, like many nonprofits. Our hope is that we can equip the committees for the work that is coming. If your committees are working properly, your scouting programs will thrive. Thanks to each of you for your dedication in attending this orientation. We hope to finish in about 90 minutes. And special thank you to the volunteers who are presenting it tonight. I'll now turn the program over to Larry Brown, Council Executive.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate you joining our meeting tonight, and a huge thank you for the work that you're doing to support all of our Middle Tennessee Council scouting units. I want to take a few minutes and cover a few of the challenges we are facing or could be facing in our council. Please know that I'm very optimistic about our future here in the council, but there are some challenges that we need to face. I call this my state of the council comments. So here are some challenges we face. COVID-19 has disrupted unit meetings and activities. Approximately 25% of our scouting units have not met or haven't met often since March of 2020. Another item, Middle Tennessee Council did not hold a traditional summer camp program for 2020, and we do plan to go back to summer camp in 2021. That's our plan, and that's what we're pushing for. Scout shop sales were obviously down significantly in 2020. Youth recruiting in the fall was significantly down in 2020. The Middle Tennessee Council recruited 998 youth in 2020 compared to a normal year of 6,500 to 7,000. Even with 998 youth, we're still in the top 10 nationwide in recruiting. So we do a good job. Unfortunately, COVID really hit us hard in our recruiting, as all of you know. Once rechartering is complete in the late spring of 2021, which will be our low point for youth members and for units, we project to have a membership of approximately 6,500 youth compared to 14,000 youth or more in a normal year. We also project to have 416 units compared to 560 units in a normal year. And this is a big hill for us to climb. It's also been very difficult for us to recruit and retain district executives. That's been a challenge for us for a while, but it seems to be even worse right now. I also looked at some of the potential future threats facing our council. If COVID-19 does not decline and we're unable to get units restarted or more active and summer camp programs are not held, that'll be a big challenge for us. If the Middle Tennessee Council loses part of its unrestricted net assets due to a settlement payment to the BSA bankruptcy to help pay into the Victims Fund, this would give the Middle Tennessee Council a channeling injunction against lawsuits that happened in the past. So that's a decision that our board has to make and something that we spend a lot of time on. I spend a lot of time on right now is working our way through this bankruptcy and how it affects our council. If the BSA Chapter 11 bankruptcy fails and the BSA becomes insolvent, which I do not expect to happen, how do we move forward with the scouting program locally? Again, this is not likely to happen, but we do need to be prepared if it does. We also are concerned about bad publicity surrounding bankruptcy and the abuse ads that ran ad nauseum throughout our council and across the country. And we hope that this does not decrease donations and keep new families from joining the scouting program. Bad publicity, frankly, could jeopardize our school access. So we're going to need to reach out to the school superintendents and principals as soon as possible. Popcorn sales, camp cart sales, and scout shop sales decreased because of less youth in the program. And that, of course, helped or hurt our units and their funding, and of course the council and its funding. So those are a few of the threats that I see in the future. Here's some opportunities I see for our council. If the COVID-19 vaccine is successful, we're planning to emerge with an MTC Scout Strong campaign, which we'll talk about later, to get those units not meeting reorganized and active again. We plan to sprint out of the pandemic. I think a lot of councils are looking to what I think is limp out of the pandemic. So we want to keep our capacity in place so that when we can get past COVID, that we can hit the ground running and get back to normal operations, whatever normal is. We're building a new skilled trade center at Boxville that will offer new merit badges such as automotive repair, home repair, welding, electricity. This should increase attendance at Boxville over time by offering these programs because they're not available at other camps or not available in the way that we're going to offer them. We need to restart our capital campaign and complete the additional projects at Boxville. We right now have a new shower house being built. We're building a 100th anniversary gateway to recognize veterans. We plan on building the skilled trade center by summer camp, and we're renovating the Rangers homes that needed renovation for quite some time. So with all that said, working together, our council, volunteer, and staff leadership decided to focus on some basic goals for 2021. I think anytime that you're in a situation where it's a crisis, you go back to your core and really focus on the key items that we need to focus on to make the council successful. So by the end of the year, we want to achieve 9,000 youth and 475 units. Keep in mind, I said our low point is going to be about 6,500 youth at the start of May, end of April. So that would be 3,500 youth that we would recruit. Normal year, it's about 7,000 youth. So we're basically cutting that in half and saying we can recruit the about half of what we would normally recruit in a fall roundup. Want to exceed our Friends of Scouting stretch goal to keep our program strong, operate our camps, do all the things we need to do. Our goal is 2,766,000, and we want to raise that by June 30th of this year and collect 90% of the pledges on that goal. That's significantly down from the 3,150,000 that we raised a couple of years ago. We want to operate with a balanced budget in 2021, and we want to fill staff vacancies as quickly as possible. We do not plan to hold any vacancies, but as y'all know, it takes some time to hire staff, and we do have a few openings coming up in our district executives. We want to operate a successful council camping season this summer with 5,000 scouts attending camp. Actually, not just this summer, but year round, especially for Latimer. And this includes Boxville Scouts BSA Summer Camp, Boxville Cubs Summer Camp, Latimer Reservation Camping, Parish Reservation Camping, Grounds Canoe Base, Weevillo's Winter Camp, and Scouts BSA Winter Camp, and of course, Cub Day Camp. Want to achieve our $10.6 million goal in gifts and pledges for the building for the new Century campaign for Boxville, which I mentioned earlier. And then we want to hold a successful 100th anniversary of Boxville and a continued 100th anniversary of the council jamboree on September 24th through 26th, 2021, with 5,000 youth and adults in attendance. I'll close by saying that almost 1 million youth have developed values, leadership skills, a culture of service, life skills over the 100+ years the Middle Tennessee Council has been in existence. And working together, we'll continue this tradition and make a positive difference in the lives of young people for many generations to come. So with that, I'm going to introduce somebody who's taken on a big role for us, Dr. Ruben Brigety. We covered our council operational goals, as I said, and one of the key points in this is the Keep Scouting Safe and Strong campaign. And Dr. Reuben Brigady, who's the president of Sewanee University of the South, has stepped up and agreed to help us lead this effort. Just to give you a little bit of background on Dr. Brigady, he's a Naval Academy graduate, U.S. ambassador, and most importantly, he's the new Scoutmaster of Troop 14, chartered to St. Andrews Sewanee School. And before I turn it over to him, I'll say that when we talked to Dr. Brigady, he has an extensive scouting background in the Washington, D.C. area, National Capital Area Council. I said, I know you got a lot going on, and this may be too much to ask you to do to serve as our Keep Scouting Safe and Strong campaign chair. But he said you have to make time for the things you care about. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Brigady for his comments.
Thank you. Oops. There we go. Excellent. Thank you so much. And good evening, everybody. It's an honor for me to spend some time with the fellow Scouters. And let me also just add my thanks to everyone for agreeing to step up to the leadership at the district level. When Larry asked me to support the Scout Safe, Scout Strong campaign, I was like, look, I just got here. The only people in my Rolodex are like the local Toyota dealership and my dry cleaner. So I don't know that I'm the right person to lead this off. But he assured me that we have a welcoming group of folks, and I just wanted to do my best to be a contributing member of scouting here at the council. So what I'm going to do in this portion of the presentation is to talk to you a bit about the purpose of the executive board and what it is that we do. And I'm more than happy as well later on to talk specifically about the Scout Strong, Scout Safe campaign, which is essentially our surge effort to restart dormant units, to bring new units online, and in both cases to make up lost ground and ensuring that we are servicing through recruitment and make sure we're servicing youth in our council. So first, the executive board. So the executive board is the governing body of the Middle Tennessee Council. It's made up of individuals that are committed to seeing scouting succeed. The district chair in each district automatically serves on the executive board. And this is done to ensure the flow of information on goals, strategic planning, and the overall direction of scouting gets to each of the district committees. So the district chair is a critical position, also because this person is the lead voice of the district to the executive board. So there are many things the executive board is responsible for, but I'll name just a few. The first is to ensure the legal and ethical integrity of the council. The council should be the example of the Scout Oath and Scout Law, and the board helps to ensure that that is always the case. We also are responsible for enhancing the council's public standing. The board should clearly articulate the council's mission, accomplishments, and goals to the public and garner support from the community. I would argue that this is particularly important now, given the challenges that Larry mentioned that scouting nationally is undergoing. Ensuring adequate financial resources for everything that we're doing. So one of the board's foremost responsibilities is to ensure that we have the resources to fulfill our mission. We also, at the council level, have a responsibility to protect assets and provide financial oversight. So the Middle Tennessee Council has 4 different camping properties, has scout shops, and over 100 full-time and part-time staff members. That is a significant responsibility that we have to oversee. And the board must assist in developing the annual budget and verify financial controls are in place. We are also responsible for monitoring and strengthening programs and services. And this responsibility involves determining which programs are consistent with the council's mission and also to monitor their effectiveness. Next slide, please. There we go. And then finally, we also are responsible for determining mission and purpose. That is, we're responsible for creating and reviewing our mission statement, which is something that every organization ought to do regularly, to ensure that it articulates the council's goals, in the development of our overall council focus on strategic items and for the future growth of the scouting program. This is a key area of emphasis at the beginning of each year for the council board because it results in the council's operational goals that you just heard Larry talk about. These goals help in the development of your district's specific operational goals, and the Middle Tennessee Council Board is committed to doing what they can to help every council hit these goals. And I know that the districts are committed as well. So thank you so much for your time and dedication to help ensure the success of scouting in your community. And with that, I'll turn the program back over to Fant. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Brigady. We are thrilled to have you a part of the Middle Tennessee Council and at Sewanee. Tonight we have 4 objectives. They are understand and define what a district is and why we have them, understand the 4 functions of a district, understand the roles and responsibilities of the key 3 and operating committee chairs, and recognize the importance of district meetings. So I'd like to ask you, within the chat feature, you'll find a download a packet. And if you would, go ahead and download that. We'll be referencing some of those documents. As a member of the Key 3, chair or one of the operating committees, a committee member, or a part of the commissioner staff, you'll help make scouting a dynamic success within your community. What is a district? A district is a geographical area within a council. So the Middle Tennessee Council stretches from the Tennessee River to the Cumberland Plateau, Kentucky, and Fort Campbell area down to the Alabama line. Within that geographical area, we have 13 districts, all of which are represented here tonight on our call. The districts are determined by the Council Executive Board. Each district is represented by a Key 3, as well as committee members and committee chairs, as well as members at large. The membership, finance, and program functions are carried out by the members of the district committee. We will discuss these more in depth in a few minutes. The unit service function is carried out by the district commissioner staff. District chair is a member of the Council Executive Board, which Dr. Brigady mentioned. The district commissioner meets with the council commissioner and the other district commissioners on a regular basis. The chair of each district operating committee is also a member of the corresponding council committee. So one more slide. Okay, here we go. Here you have the graph, and I'll walk through this. Obviously, at the top, you've got the National Council, and then below that, Middle Tennessee Council. Everybody on this call is part of the Middle Tennessee Council. Then below that, you've got the district chair. So the Key 3 would be those 3 in line. You got the district commissioner, district chair, and district executive. The district executive is the employee of the Scouts. Below the district chair, you have the nominating committee chair, which we will address in just a minute, and vice chair. Then you have, coming down off the district commissioner, you have assistant district commissioners, roundtable commissioners, and unit commissioners. Below the district chair, you have finance committee chair, membership committee chair, and vice chair of program. And so under the program area, you've got camping and outdoors, advancement, training, Order of the Arrow, activities and civic service, and public relations. These are, and then, so that makes up the district committee really, and they help run the program for each district. We'll get into a lot of these areas tonight more in depth. That gives you kind of a snapshot overview of what we're going to be doing. Now I'm going to ask Jim Larson to talk about the nominating committee.
Thank you, Fant. Unless you are what we call a COR, which is a charter organization rep, you became part of the district committee through a nominating committee, and you are included as a member at large of your district committee. The nominating committee is the operational arm of scouting that offered you the opportunity to serve at a district or in some cases a council level. The committee is responsible to select and recruit qualified adults to serve in key leadership positions in the district. With the help of the district chair and district executive, evaluate the effectiveness of all district committee members and suggest necessary changes. In order to recruit effectively, committee member must be familiar with the job descriptions and responsibilities of all the functions in the district. Nominating committee members make the ask, inviting members at large onto our district committees. The nominating committee generally is made up of 3 to 5 individuals from your local community. They may or may not be registered scouters. That helps keep the community involved and related to the scouting program. The district executive then serves as the secretary for the nominating committee. The nominating committee chair, along with committee members, are approved by the council president and council scout executive. The council president, in some cases, also has the ability to place a council board member on that nominating committee if help is needed. Once a year, approximately 90 to 100 days prior to the district annual meeting, the district committee develops a slate of members at large, a district committee chair, and a district commissioner. The district must approve the slate at the district annual meeting. Note, the district committee chair and the district commissioner must be approved by council leadership before the ask is made, and the district committee chair and district commissioner are ratified by the council executive board of directors at the council annual meeting. So if this is just happening once a year, why should the nominating committee meet year round? Well, as you all know, volunteers move. Families of volunteers change. Health of volunteers can change. And sometimes we need more support for the subcommittees in the district. District demographics and district committees needs may actually change. So mid-year additions to the district committee are voted on at a regular scheduled district committee meeting rather than wait till year end. So I mentioned members at large earlier. Who are the members at large? Along with the district CORs, the chartered organization reps, the members at large make up the voting members of the district committee, nominated by the district nominating committee and elected by the voting members of your district. They serve on the district committee in a variety of chair positions for various subcommittees, and some of them serve just as staff members on those district subcommittees. Some serve as commissioners, and some may serve year round, or in some cases just sporadically throughout the year. They are responsible to help recruit new members, to support our general district activities, and of course, support the district goals, including JTE. They help plan the district program and events, and they support all units within the district. We should remember, a strong district committee will increase the effectiveness of the local scouting program. Great committees turn their membership by 1/4 to 1/3 each year. This keeps the membership fresh with new ideas and also keeps good scouters from burnout. Fan, I'd like to turn it back over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I'd like to cover the meetings of the district. There are really 4 regular monthly meetings, the key 3, which again would be the district commissioner, the district chair, and the district executive. The district committee meeting, which everybody on this call would be invited to, district commissioner staff meeting, and then district roundtable. And I'm sure all of you know about the roundtable. These meetings are critical to a well-run and functioning district and generate their own work that takes place following those meetings. So the key three meeting, again, would be the district chair, the commissioner, and the district executive. That meeting is going to be led by the DE. Typically, the agenda would be developed by the DE, takes place monthly. In my district, we used to meet for breakfast, and it's an hour, sometimes a little bit longer. And it's going to focus on future priorities of the district. You might talk about the FOS presentations, district awards, unit recharters, critical unit needs, issues with chartered organizations, training events upcoming, camp promotion, JTE goals. The key three should be kept informed about successes and challenges in the district and in units. And the key three also is critical to promoting teamwork and mutual respect within the district. The district committee meeting is led by the district chair. The agenda typically is developed jointly between the district chair and the district executive. Some of that agenda would be developed through the key three meeting I mentioned a minute ago. The district committee meeting takes place monthly, typically is 1 hour. The purpose for developing and reporting on plans for each of the 4 functions. The district chair is the top volunteer scouting leader within a district, generally well connected in the community. His or her job is to motivate a talented team of volunteers. District chair presides over district committee meetings, represents the district on the executive board of the council. The district chair is responsible for membership, program, and finance functions of the district. Major tasks of the district chair: identify and recruit committee chairs, assist the committee chairs in identifying and recruiting committee members, plan along with the district executive and preside at district committee meetings, coordinating the work of the district, and ensuring the district is on the right path to achieve its goals. Major tasks of the district chair: certainly encourage and recognize volunteers as any leader does, support the local and national scouting policies, procedures, and practices, help secure support for scouting from top leaders within the district, both scouting leaders and community leaders, sort of be the face of the scouting program within that area. Appoint a nominating committee, which Jim just addressed, to select district officers and members at large and represent the district on the council executive board. The district vice chair, this is a position that I frankly didn't use well enough in my tenure as chair in Trail of Tears. A district can have as many, more than one vice chair. That person can substitute for the chair when he or she's unable to serve. A person can share the weight of leadership as determined by the district chair. The vice chair of program, I think, is a real opportunity in a lot of districts. You might have a chair who's really well connected in the district, but not as comfortable in the weeds of the scouting program, and you recruit that vice chair of program who knows the scouting program in and out, and that really can help a district function. A lot of people who are approached to be district chairs might be fearful of being uncertain in the weeds of the district, and that role can really make them much more comfortable. I will now turn it over to Middle Tennessee Council Assistant Council Commissioner Kevin Phillips.
Thank you, Fan. Good evening, Scouters. Tonight I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is commissioner service and the unit service function within the district. Commissioners provide volunteer service directly to the units in each district. And our unit service mission is to help units better serve more youth through scouting. And our vision will enable units to better serve more youth by providing an adequate number of trained commissioners that will provide a link to district operating committee and other resources in support of a quality unit program. A unit is a basic structure operated by the chartered organization to deliver programs of the Boy Scouts of America. The BSA works with and through the chartered organizations to serve youth. It is important that the charter organization and its units be served effectively with the guidance of a commissioner. Now, unless scouting units are strong and efficient, the program won't attract or retain scouts or adult volunteers. So no matter how well organized the council and the district, the program delivery system stalls or fails with weak units. And our unit service goals for commissioner service is to enable an increased number of traditional units, improve the retention rate of traditional units, enable implementation of a unit service plan through collaborative and detailed assessments. And then the commissioners also have some unit service objectives. Commissioners provides units with meaningful service that delivers scouting ideals to youth and brings about membership growth and ensures on-time charter renewal. Commissioners will focus on the following 5 primary areas. Number 1, we support unit growth and retention. Number 2, we make meaningful unit contacts that capture in the commissioner tools the unit's strengths and needs. And also, we create unit service plans that helps enable continuing improvement in each unit. Number 3, we link unit needs to district operating committee and other resources. As Fan was talking about earlier, the district operating committee is a great resource for commissioners to connect to the units. We also support timely unit, district, and council charter renewals. And last, we support unit leaders by delivering effective roundtables that provide program ideas, relationship development, and timely communication. The concept of unit service focuses on the unit. The commissioner's specific mission is to keep units operating at maximum efficiency so that they can deliver a good program to grow with youth membership. As we all know, that the program is key to the success of a unit. In other words, the unit service concept calls our commissioners to help develop program capability in a unit. And that's very important to understand, that commissioners are so involved with helping units with their program, because we are accountable for the success and retention of our assigned units. There is no perfect formula for numbers of commissioners or the frequency of unit contacts. The numbers and methods should be determined by the needs of the units to be served. The commissioner structure of the district must also be dictated by the needs of the council and the district and the units to be served as well. Now I'm going to talk about district commissioners, which is the previous slide. There we go. So district commissioners, they recruit, train, and lead a staff of commissioners who coach adult leaders of every unit to succeed. They're also responsible for unit service within their district, and they are approved and appointed by the council executive board with the concurrence of the scout executive on the recommendation of the district nominating committee. The role of the district commissioner involves many things, but we're going to talk about 5 of them. Number 1, to envision what effective unit service in a district will look like and what goals must be accomplished during their term of service. Number 2 is to represent volunteers and scouts to the district committee and district professionals. Number 3, to recruit assistant district commissioners and an adequate number of roundtable and unit commissioners to provide effective unit service within their district. Number 4 is to retain commissioners and units. That's a very important part, to make sure that we're retaining those leaders in those units in each district. Also, last but not least, to enable commissioners to be successful, including ensuring commissioners complete onboarding, training, and they are given assignments that are a good match for their passion, potential, and priorities. Next, we're going to talk about what a commissioner staff is. A district has several types of commissioners. First is the administrative commissioners, or your district commissioner and your assistant district commissioners. They lead and support your unit commissioners. The unit commissioners relate directly to the units. They are actively involved in meeting and going to meetings where the units are at, attending committee meetings and troop and PAC and venturing meetings, so they can get an understanding of how the unit's health is doing. And then we have our roundtable commissioners who plan and execute the monthly roundtables in the district. So in short, a commissioner staff is a team of experienced leaders who provide support to unit leaders in order to ensure a quality program for the youth. They also help keep units healthy and alive, and they conduct most of the direct contact with the units. They plan monthly roundtables designed for information, training, and networking, and they also help administer the entire commissioner staff. Next, we'll talk about the commissioner staff meeting. The action and monthly commissioner meetings set the stage for how commissioners and assistant district commissioners perform and provide unit service. Commissioners need to meet monthly to plan and review all the needed unit service tasks to ensure a good unit program and stable unit operation. The meetings are sharply focused on the needs of the individual units, and they typically occur once a month. They provide a great communication tool for the commissioners to all get on the same page about the needs of the units. They focus primarily on unit health, and they often include some type of training to help the commissioners with their monthly unit service. And then last but not least, a commissioner staff is only successful when a district's youth membership grows and when its units succeed in providing a quality unit program for the youth. So thank you, and now I'd like to introduce James E. West, Scoutmaster and Council Vice President of Advancement, Justin Crossland.
Thank you, Kevin. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about the role of the district executive. In summary, the district executive is a full-time professional in the district employed by the council, responsible for the business aspects of scouting. They report to the scout executive and they work closely with volunteers to ensure the success of the district. This is a fairly, this is a role that is vital to council and the district in many ways. I want to discuss a few of those responsibilities that a district executive carries on a daily basis. First of all, they provide professional coaching, and this is a big one. For instance, when working on an agenda, they'll reach out to the chairs, they'll talk through big issues so that nothing is missed in the agenda, make sure the chairs are prepared to present and do what is needed. They work on maintaining a positive and professional attitude, which at times can be tough, but our district executives do a very good job of it. They identify potential commissioners, day camp directors, and other key district leaders. So recruiting is a vital component to the district success, and they're a big part of it. They maintain regular contact with chartered organizations, communication here largely with weekly emails, keeping everyone up to date on what's going on. They maintain they keep district records up to date, district contact information, etc. They schedule fall roundups and other recruiting events. A lot of this starts in late July, communicating by email and phone with schools and units to spearhead the recruiting process, another vital aspect of a district's success. They are instrumental in the yearly Friends of Scouting campaign, planning and recruiting, making phone calls, etc. They provide professional support for finalizing budgets. It was mentioned earlier that the council board is responsible for putting together this budget in conjunction with the staff. The district executives manage a large part of this process, as well as communicating with the chairs to finalize the numbers. They organize administrative help with mailings, printings, meeting notices, etc. They spend a lot of time planning and preparing for district meetings and other meetings, sending invites, preparing materials, preparing an agenda. You know, a lot of coaching goes on here as well. Essentially, they play an important behind the scenes role in helping units and others with projects, recruiting, meetings, etc. And lastly, they work with and encourage volunteers. They establish and maintain relationships, which is very important to our success. So I hope this helps summarize the very important role of a district executive. At this point, I'd like to hand the program over to the Middle Tennessee Council VP of Program, Robert Geisinger.
Thank you, Justin. Good evening, everyone. Let's take a few minutes to review the 4 standard functions that all districts are responsible to carry out. The 4 functions are finance, membership, program, and unit service. The finance, membership, and program functions are carried out by members of the district committee. The unit service function is carried out by the district commissioner staff. It takes all 4 standard functions to ensure healthy district operations. Scouting cannot achieve its purpose without first organizing units and enrolling members. The district cannot support its units without funds to do it. Unit programs are supported by the district through its program functions and unit service. The order in which these functions are listed is not the order of importance, but to show the natural interrelationship and flow of the functions. All 4 functions are equally important and necessary. If one function is weak, the entire district will suffer. The finance function sees that the district provides its fair share of funds to the total council operating budget. Almost every human endeavor has its financial side. Scouting is no exception. Financial support comes from people who live in the districts. It comes from parents of members, from scouting volunteers, from members of the community who care about scouting. Financial support comes through our Friends of Scouting, Capital Campaign, popcorn sales, camp card sales, and gifts. Membership function strives for growth through the organization of new scouting units and growth through new members joining existing units. If we are committed to the idea that scouting helps our youth become better adults, we must be committed to enrolling them as members. Our community organizations have been significant contributors to our scouting success. Although we own Cub Scouting, Scouts BSA, Venturing, STEM Scouts, and Sea Scouts, we do not own the units that provide the different levels of the program to our youth. We charter community organizations to organize and operate their units. The program function concentrates on helping scouting units with camp promotion, activities, community service, training adult volunteers, youth advancement, and recognition. It's important to know that a quality program helps membership in scouting grow. It's important that the district carry out successfully all 4 district functions if units are to prosper. Unit service provides direct coaching and consultation by district volunteers for unit adults to help ensure the success of every scouting unit. As you learned earlier, unit service is provided by the Commissioner Service. Commissioners create a positive relationship with the unit leader to build trust and to show they are there to guide and help. In the next several presentations, we'll learn more in detail about the finance, membership, and program functions carried out by the district committee. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to turn the program back over to Kevin Phillips to cover fund development.
Thank you, Robert. Now let's talk a little bit about fund development. Inside the packet that you'll see in the chat, there's a district fund development guide that goes over many aspects of the district and unit finance. The district fund development guide contains information about the Friends of Scouting campaign, unit finance, product sales, and covers many policies and procedures that is very helpful for districts and units to share with the units to understand how to help develop a fund for their unit. The major tasks of the Finance Committee include the following. They report to the district chair. They recruit top volunteers to support all functions of the committee. They achieve the district share of council finance campaigns, such as the Friends of Scouting, and they support council fundraising efforts like popcorn sales, camp cards, the patron luncheon, and the capital campaign. They also assist with budget planning for the district activities while ensuring proper policy and controls. They have recognition to donors along with information on how their dollars help serve youth. They assure units are following sound finance policy and assist in the review and approval of unit money earning applications. And then finally, they also ensure implementation of council finance policies. Let's talk a little bit about who pays for scouting. Scouting is paid in many different ways. First and foremost, we have the youth members who pay for the uniforms, handbooks, equipment, camp fees, and also their scouting unit dues. Chartered organizations provide a meeting place and they help recruit volunteer leaders. The charter organization can also help with money earning projects to help meet the expenses for supplies and activities. Your local councils are funded through a Friends of Scouting campaign, the United Way, the endowment fund income, product sales, foundations, special events, and capital campaigns. Local councils use scouting dollars to provide professional field service, volunteer training, council-wide activities, outdoor facilities, and the council service center. And then we also have the national organization, which is funded by membership registration fees, national service fees, and the support of the supply group, also known as your scout shops. The national scouting dollars are used for program development, training programs, personal administration, field service to councils, insurance, and benefit costs in support of local councils. Now, finally, we'll talk about the Friends of Scouting campaign. The annual Friends of Scouting campaign is the most important finance responsibility of the district. This is usually the major source of income raised by volunteers within each district. And the Friends of Scouting campaign, excuse me, has three parts. The district division. In the district division, memberships are secured from district committee members, commissioner staff members, and others who are demonstrating their support by serving scouting. The community enrollment, where all prospects who are not enrolled in the district or family enrollments are enrolled here, such as former youth and adult members, community businesses, and previous contributors. And then the family enrollment, which is all parents of all scouts and venturers who are encouraged to enroll as families, though most families welcome the opportunity to give. This is entirely voluntary and not a condition for membership in scouting. It is important to communicate that money contributed to Friends of Scouting enables the district to support and build scouting and the values of scouting throughout the community, including strengthening weak units and starting new ones. So it can be hard for many of us to raise money for scouting. One thing you should always remember is you should raise friends and then funds. Talk about scouting to your friends. Let them know what great program it is for our youth today. And sometimes you will have friends who volunteer to help or even give without even asking. Next, I'm happy to introduce Council Vice President of Membership, Harry Fisk.
Hi, everybody. My name is Harry Fisk. It's a nice pleasure to be here tonight and to see some faces I haven't seen in a long time. So I'm the Vice President of Membership, and we'll review kind of what the membership committee does in each district. A district membership committee does the following to ensure a district's steady, balanced membership growth. Number one, the committee should gather information, and this should be done in depth during the months of December and January. The committee will work with the DE to establish a plan for the new unit and membership growth in the district. And we believe because of COVID this year that there'll be a big opportunity here for growth. And we're going to be counting on the committees in each district to spearhead that growth. The committee should also analyze district membership figures on the number of Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, and Ventures for the past several years. So I think if you look at those trends, you will see, a dramatic decrease this year that gives us a lot of opportunity for 2021, particularly in and around Cub Scouts as we get inside the schools, or hope to get inside the schools. The membership committee should be using the district's Google map, and your executive can get you access to this, but there's a Google map that has pinpoints of where the units are, and then you can determine the need for new units or stronger units in a specific area of the district. So it's a neat tool that's out there. The committee should review new or restarting unit prospect lists to determine the priorities. So you can see how large the schools are, any packs that may have folded up for the COVID period. And you can, obviously focus efforts on larger packs, larger schools. And the link is in the chat box on the resource document in your packet. So the next step for the membership committee is to make the contacts. You may not be the specific person reaching out to a unit prospect or a school for the sign-up night, but the committee is the organizing body that needs to ensure that these contacts get made. So that committee just ultimately takes the responsibility to ensure that we're talking to the right schools, we're getting in front of the students, that we're promoting the Scouts. And it may be that there are various designees that they appoint or have come in, somebody that has the availability, people that, maybe they have some scouting background, perhaps have been through Wood Badge, and they have the ability and flexibility to go talk to, the principals and kids at the schools. The second big item is the sources for contact for membership growth. So the sources for the membership growth can be new units. And again, because of COVID, we think new unit growth will be pretty significant this year. New youth recruitment or additional enrollments, better program transition. So, ensuring that the Lions make it to Tigers and the Tigers make it into the Cub Scouts and the Cub Scouts make it to Webelos. Webelos make it to Scouts BSA. Growth from stopping dropped units. So if we know that there's a Cub Master that is transitioning to Boy Scouts, we want to make sure that this district committee gets involved with finding the replacement Cub Master so that it doesn't stumble, right, and potentially go away. And then also growth from increasing the tenure or more youth registered at the unit charter renewal. So we want to maintain the Scouts that we have in each of our units. So the final step is to keep track of the district and then recognize the units that are succeeding. Utilizing and sharing best practices for the units that are doing well in your district is the best way to duplicate that success. So meetings like this, where you see a pack that's really thriving and you want to talk to that Cub Master, like, what are you doing? How are you keeping everybody energized? How are you able to make your pack so successful? So tracks measurable indications and recognize the success. So the committee should be working together with other committees that are critical to the success of membership. Utilize the training reports in My Scouting and advancement reports from Scout Book. 2021 Cub Masters kit will assist in delivering best practices to many of our new leaders for 2021. So Dylan is helping drive this process where we are creating a virtual data room for each district that has a Cub Master kit in it that is tailored for your particular district. It will have or does have an annual meeting, suggested calendar that takes into consideration holidays of the schools, et cetera. And it will also list ideas for activities for each month, and then a theme. And this is repeated throughout every district. So within our council, every PAC, should they choose to use this, will be sort of working off the same themes. And it won't matter where you are in council. This month might be a month that we focus on Brave, and we talk about Brave activities in our PAC meetings. And maybe it's a month that we're working on the Pinewood Derby, right? And so within this data room, there'll be lots of information to assist new Cub Masters with the agendas. We also need to send thank yous, and recognition is important aspect of the membership committee. So sending thank yous out to the principals of the schools for letting us come by, and starting that relationship is really important. Overall, the membership committee needs to be focused on new growth for scouting. Understanding the 2021 membership plan of the council and the steps that can be taken to decrease our losses are also very important as well. 2021 is going to be a year of new and reorganized scouting programs, and it will be exciting to work together with our membership teams to ensure that each family in Middle Tennessee has the opportunity to enjoy the fun and excitement of scouting. Thank you. And next up is our Vice President of Activities and Civic Service, and my good friend, Linda Stinson. Take it away, Linda.
Thank you, Harry. I did that myself. So sorry. There. Oh, so major task of activities committee. Reports to the district vice chair of program. Recruit enough people to support committee functions. This is very important, and it is much harder to plan and to carry out activities if you are the only one doing it. Schedule, plan, and promote district activities and district service projects. Notice that this did not say run the activity. You get others to actually take charge of the events. Ensure that activities adhere to national policy. Encourage units to participate in service projects benefiting their charter organizations. This is something that I think units sometimes don't think about. We want to say thank you for them being our chartered organization. So if you want to do something like cleaning up, planting a garden, something like that, we want to do that just to say thank you. And promote participation in Scout Sunday and other special scouting anniversary activities. This is also something we want to think about. So our types of activities. Next slide. There we go. A district activities committee best helps units by planning a few multi-unit events each year that supplement but do not take the place of the unit program. Some examples are camping, the camporees, Cub and Families, day camps, volunteer recognition banquets, the Pinewood Derby, bike rodeos, and parades. Some of these are fun activities, and some are competitive skill events. This could also include advancement hikes, field days, or whatever you can think of that meets the needs and the aims and the purposes of scouting. We also have civic service activities. Community service projects often involve more than one unit. One of their most important objectives is to foster the spirit of citizenship through service to others. We should also encourage the units to track their service hours. That's something else we tend to forget. Examples of these are scouting for food, the Memorial Day flag placements, the flag retirement, and the Veterans Day events. We also want to promote council activities and the civic service programs within the district. We can also do display events. These show what scouts do and help youth develop poise before an audience. Wish I had done this more. You might have rededication ceremonies, parades, community leadership unit day, uniform day, scout courtesy recognitions, report to the community ceremonies, religious service attendance in uniform, speakers at service clubs, etc. We also have recognition events. These may include such activities as an annual district recognition dinner, as I mentioned earlier, for adult scouters and their families, or a Scout of the Month recognition. And we have camporees, a weekend encampment planned for all units of the district. Troops camp and cook using the patrol method, and the program involves a variety of exciting activities for all participants. Packs come together to meet others, gain new ideas, and learn ways of camping, and hopefully enjoy that camping and come back. These are just some examples of what the Activities Committee could be involved in planning and supporting. It is up to you to come up with and plan well-balanced activities within your district. Having a strong committee makes it much easier to do this, not just a committee of one. I've done this. It's not fun. Once you have ideas, it is up to you to make them happen. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Now I would like to introduce you fellow Cumberland River District Committee member, Don Hayes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Advancement. Structurally, the advancement chair reports to the district chair, district vice chair of program, or if that, in absence of that, reports directly to the district chair. That's also a very common approach. Just like Linda said, recruit enough people. The way that I've done that through the past is I've recruited a cadre of people without assignments. People that I can call on for specific issues, be that rule interpretation, Eagle Board, various things, so I don't have to do everything by myself. Encourage advancement and the recognition of youth. We need to recognize that advancement is one of the 8 methods of scouting. It is not the method. It is not the preferred method. It is simply one of the methods. So we can encourage it. We can use it to our advantage to get across the aims and goals of scouting. Ensure that units establish and follow advancement procedures in accordance with national policy. This is a challenge sometimes, in that often you'll find troops that have their way, which is not the way. There is a challenge there. So you become part negotiator, you become part interpreter, you become part legalistic reader. That's not the most fun part of the job, but to interpret the rules generally to the advantage of the scout is the goal. Establish district advancement goals, develop a plan to achieve them, track their attainment. The next slide here discusses council can provide you with monthly report. If you are a data nerd, there is data to be had. You can graph and chart and analyze to your heart's content. Major tasks. Coach troop leaders in the methods for conducting boards of review and courts of honor. The boards of review coaching I see is valuable to provide consistency across the program, so that an Eagle here, and an Eagle in California, an Eagle in North Dakota are all similar. They have the same standards, the same approach, so that they're equal. Recruit merit badge counselors for the district. The negotiation you'll have there with people is to get them to do more than simply their unit. Get them to expand outside just what is convenient. If there's expertise there, we want to tap that. They need to be registered now. It's free, it's just some paperwork. Review and approve Eagle Scout service project plans. If you're a busy district with lots of these, you may want a group of 2 or 3 to spread that love around. It can become time consuming. Conduct district level Eagle Scout boards of review. This is the most fun job on the planet. There's nothing better than sitting down with a scout at the apex of their scout youth career and see what's in their head, chat them through it, let them tell you their life goals, life meanings, and how scouts has impacted them. It brings value and meaning to what we do. And then review appeals. This goes back to the legalistic interpretation, in that if candidates are denied, then it's up to the advancement chair to negotiate through that. If it becomes a big challenge, then the council advancement committee can also be of support. Recognition. In this, different districts handle this differently. Sometimes the advancement committee handles youth and adult recognition. Sometimes training committees handle adult recognition. But either way, we need to promote the awards and recognition programs for venturing in Sea Scouts. I wear the spruce. We need the help, trust me. We recommend youth members for special awards. You end up being the champion for life-saving awards, Eagle Project awards, the Scout of the Year awards. You are the liaison between the district and the outside world. And then in terms of adult recognition, district council and national awards like the Long Rifle, the Silver Beaver, etc., those can fall to the advancement committee for support, or it can roll training committee. I'm having video issues, but I'm still here. And now I'd like to turn it over to my good friend and the new Vice President of Camping and Outdoors, Bob Van Cleve.
Good evening, everyone. This is why Scouts join to go camping. So you'll see very quickly, I'm going to touch on these major tasks. There's a report function to the district vice chair, like they said earlier, or to the district chair. Recruiting is essential to any committee function. You want to promote camping in your district. You organize and conduct district camporees and or cub and families. Assist the Order of Era in their promotion of camping in your district. Want to educate leaders of the council's camperships. So those are the scholarships to be able to go to a day camp, could be to go to summer camp. Promote the National Summertime Pack Award, which is a pack who functions on a 12-month basis. Most of the packs in our district, James E. West, function on a 9-month, take the summer off, but this is where packs are actively involved, doing one activity a month during the summertime. And also the camping chair will serve on the council's camping committee. But what I want to talk to you next is really about the next slide. It's really the most exciting thing that we have coming down the pike for the Boxville Reservation, and this is the Skills Trade Center. Larry talked about it earlier. This is an architectural rendering as well as the sketch that outlines the 2 bays that we would have, as well as classrooms and restroom facilities. And you'll see the 9 new merit badges that will be taught, and he touched on those, but you've got welding, auto mechanics, plumbing, painting, home repairs, electricity, architect, American business, and American labor. So Scouts will be able to learn trades. As we all know, that the merit badges system was set up as a means for Scouts to learn about different vocations. And this is a great entree for these Scouts to be able to learn about these skills without going to a trade school necessarily as it being their introduction. If you'd go to the next slide, it's going to be at Camp Parnell. So as you go into the Boxville Reservation and you get to the Crippled Crab, you go straight and then you turn left to go into Camp Parnell down by the water tower, across from the compound, and you go down towards the water and you'll see the picture there. There's a photo and there's a picture with the X on it where it's going to be overlooking the water. And this building is underway right now. The funds have all been gathered up to build the building, and our goal is to have it ready for summer camp 2021. This will also be used for adults, and for outside groups to come and learn about all these different skills trades. So really exciting time for the camp, and really look forward to seeing everybody out at camp. This time I'd like to turn the program over to our new Vice President of Training, Roland Myers.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. And thank everybody for being on the call tonight. We've given you a lot of information in a short period of time. You may feel like you're drinking out of a fire hydrant at the moment, and that's where training comes in. We can help fill that in and get you trained at the district level and help you get your adult leaders trained as well. So we have a council training committee, and of course at the district level, you have a training committee as well. I'm going to cover basic tasks and what we hope you'll get done at the district level when it comes to training. So when we talk about training, we need to think about who is untrained, what courses need to be held, when do they need to be held, how do we do that? How do we provide the resources and the education for our leaders to be able to deliver the program to our youth? So we ask ourselves, what are our needs? Well, we specifically focus on training leaders. We don't just want to set up a course and hope people attend. We want to foster a culture of training so that we're always constantly thinking about what's the next training event. Can I participate? Can I participate as an attendee or an instructor? Am I up to date? We need to focus on creating, as I said, that culture of training throughout the district and throughout all the scouting programs. So one way that you can do that is you can establish goals. So you need to think about your own district and what you want to set as your training benchmark. For example, at the council level, our direct contact leader goal is 60%. We want everyone who is in that direct contact leader role to be trained, ideally at least 60%. And those are folks trained for their individual leadership positions. So Cub Masters, venturing advisors, Scout Masters, and so forth. We want 100% of adult leaders to be youth protection trained. So there's probably somewhere already somebody has benchmarked it at the district level. Take a look at what those benchmarks are and see if they make sense for you. You want to plan your training. You want to conduct a year-round training program that offers training to every adult volunteer. If you look at the council's website, you see there's an entire tab devoted to training. We put a lot of emphasis on it. There are programs that are going on simultaneously, and there are training programs that are going on back to back. You don't necessarily need to be as robust as the council is, and certainly we want to take advantage of a lot of the council's programs, but you do need to have a program going year round at the district level where there is always some training event coming up. You need to promote those events. So you need to stress the importance and the necessity of training. As I mentioned, you need to create that culture of training that this is something that is part and parcel of what we do. And then as people get trained, you need to recognize them, you need to record their training, and you need to evaluate your own training program throughout the year. On the next slide, I'll dig into the tasks that I just mentioned a little bit deeper. So when we talk about needs, you want to recruit enough people for your district training committee, not only people who can serve on the committee and help you plan and as Linda said, delegate to those folks, but also serve as course instructors. And you want to target the untrained. Certainly we want to provide the resources and the training for folks who have already been there, done that, and are veterans, but also, and perhaps even more importantly, the folks who do not have training, the folks who are new to scouting, who don't know where to begin. That's your first target. So train the untrained. We talked about goals. You want to measure your success by setting goals for each type of leader. Again, you've got Cub Masters, you've got venturing advisors, you've got Scout Masters, you've got the people who do the work at the district committee level. There is training available for all of those positions. You want to determine what your benchmark is for this year and then work to exceed that goal every year. Develop a training calendar of events. Again, the council's website is a good place to start to see where some of those events fall in. You can reflect that at the district level. You want to consider your budget, of course. You want to be very flexible. We found this year and last year that with COVID, we have to be flexible. And of course, you want to consider your staff, your instructors, and the materials that you would need to carry out those events. Promote it, spread the word. The people who are doing the training can help you Word of mouth is still the most effective way to get somebody to a course. Hey, I went through it last year. I really had a great time. I think you should do it. Social media, all the ways that your units communicate with each other, you need to exploit all those ways of communication and promote the event. And then you want to recognize the individual leader's accomplishments. There's certificates, there's not, all sorts of ways to banquets, all sorts of ways to recognize folks for giving time and energy and support to the Scouts. You should take advantage of that. You want to track their individual training experiences. So if somebody has a training that they do this year, it's easy to get down the road a couple years from now and they can't remember if they did it or not. It helps them not only track it individually, but track it at the district level so that you know where people are. And then, of course, with everything, you want to constantly ask, how are we doing after each event? In your committee meetings, what can you do better? What can you improve? What do you need to drop? Just constantly have an evaluation process going on. I'll post in the chat box my contact information as well as Jeremy Belk, who's a senior DE with the council, and we can be a resource for you on any training needs or questions as they come up. With that, I'll turn it back to Dr. Brigady and Larry Brown to talk about our plans for the Scout Safe and Strong campaign. Thanks.
Okay, so am I up? Yes.
You're good. You're up, Ruben. Yep.
Great. So, as was mentioned, we are in a serious challenge with regard to our recruitment and our retention, largely because of COVID. And so we have, the council has come up with something called Scout Safe and Scout Strong, which is essentially our surge effort to bring more Scouts in or back in to scouting as well as their families. We call it Scout Safe and Scout Strong because we want to not only ensure that scouting continues strong with our programming, but also crucially that it is safe. And that is a direct reaction to the publicity that is happening right now because of the lawsuits against the BSA for sexual assault. I will say, just as an aside, one of the things I always say when we're recruiting new families in is, look, here's the thing. BSA has approached this better than almost any other organization in the United States. And if I never see you again, if you never come back to another Scout meeting, just do youth protection training. That in and of itself is almost worth the price of admission in terms of being state-of-the-art training to help protect our families. And so we have a series of objectives to reach our goal, which is to work to build Middle Tennessee Council scouting program over 2021 using community outreach, social media, and programming events. So they're all here in front of you, but I'll just kind of go through each of them a little bit. So the first is to conduct a new surge to start or restart 100 units within the council by the end of this calendar year, 2021. We'll be having a kickoff event for our Scout Safe and Scout Strong program in early February. We have, hopefully all of you in your district know that we are having a Scout Safe, Scout Strong district chair for each of the districts to help us do these sorts of things. We will also create a library of positive scouting videos that will feature parents, leaders, scouts, etc. The goal is to have about 50 or so of these videos that can be used in various types of promotions. We want to make sure that we're meeting with school superintendents in our service area, each of them by midsummer, by July 15th, in order to communicate, again, as I said before, that scouting is safe, is also important for our youth. And accordingly, we also want to recruit 100 scouting ambassadors so we can create a speakers bureau that will allow people to give speeches about 10 minutes or so with the key bullet points and answer, quite frankly, some of the hard questions. So is scouting still going to be around 2 years from now? What is it that is different now than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago that led to many of these lawsuits being leveraged in the first place as a result of sexual assaults on youth in the program? So these are all very fair questions. And one of the things that we found is that when people are actually interacting face-to-face, with people in their community, sharing this information, then they build a greater level of trust. We also want to communicate directly with each scouting charter organization to share positive talking points, so that they can also answer questions from people that are within their organization, whether that be a church or other house of faith or a school or whatnot. We want to also develop a bi-weekly webcast to address opportunities to strengthen Middle Tennessee Council Scouting. Topics will be developed from a broad survey of basically asking families what is it they want to know. So we're making sure that we're actually meeting the need. And then we'll shift Middle Tennessee Council TV to a youth-oriented broadcast. And if you haven't seen one, there's actually a really cool one that's done out of California, which is scouting or sort of Scout Saturday by Scouts for Scouts. And in fact, there's a young lady who's Scout BSA in Nashville that's actually part of that broadcast. And the goal is to highlight 24 stories of scouting in the field by the end of this year. And then, as was already mentioned, we hope to hold the 100th anniversary of Boxwell this summer with over 5,000 people in attendance. And with that, Larry, is the floor yours, I believe?
I think it is. Thank you, Ruben. Really appreciate you taking on the Scout Safe and Strong campaign. I appreciate everybody's help today too on this video. I think it was a well done training. My hat's off to you for a job well done. I was going to talk about some of the points of why we need the Scout Safe and Strong campaign, but I really think I covered those at the beginning of the meeting. We talked about recruiting more youth into the program, strengthening our marketing, getting back into the schools, all the things that we need to do to get scouting back on track for the future. So with that, I'll turn it over to Fant for his questions and answer section.
Thank you, Larry. I'd like to give a special thank you to each of these presenters. I thought this presentation was very good. We, in monitoring the attendance has been steady. We've had a couple drop off, but generally it's been very good. Really well done, guys. And a special thank you to Dylan, who managed the technology through this whole thing. And it's not an easy task.
Sorry for my missteps.
A lot of juggling. I did not see a single error, but thank you very much. That is a big task. Run well over 100 people. A lot of pressure there, and you performed. So we will open it up for Q&A. I know we had in the chat, looked like some people were having trouble saving the packet. I put a Google Doc there, but we can distribute that but via email as well, right?
We sure can. And I sent it out before the meeting. So you may just double check your email, but I sent it in a zip file. If that doesn't work, and that's what it looked like that was causing some people some problems, I'll save it to the council website in the morning. And then I will I'll send out that link to everybody. So you'll be able to download the documents from there.
Another request we had was for this recording to be distributed, and Dylan is ahead of that. We're going to make that available tomorrow, you think?
We'll work with the marketing department. We'll have that up on the website as well, right there with the downloadable content on all the slides, as well as the packet for the meeting.
So do we have questions? I think you can unmute yourself and ask.
The part of the website that it'll be on, the site right now is resources. I'm going to work with Tran on the website and see if we can have something that's specific to district operations that you can click on. I may not be able to make that happen, so I don't want to commit to it. But again, what I'll do is I'll get everybody's email from the meeting, and then first thing in the morning, I'll send out a big email, and it'll have the link in there. So you'll be able to just click that and go straight to where the location is on the website.
So we're gonna also, Dylan is gonna explain how you can go to my.scouting and take the training. Haven't had any questions yet, but Dylan, if you want to go ahead and start through that. And following that, we'll open it up for questions again. If y'all want to hang on, you can,
Yep.
if you take this online training, this session tonight, I thought was very beneficial. It does not check the box for training, but Dylan will show you how to do that.
And just as a point of reference, we tested this before, but I know things change. If everybody could just give a thumbs up that you can hear the audio, because we're not going to be hearing it on our end. I just want to make sure that you all are hearing it there. So here we go.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to take the district committee trainings on my.scouting. You just log in to the website. Click on menu and my training. Then you're going to need to click on training center. Then on position specific training, district committee. And it'll open up this page that has all of the learning plans that you're eligible to take. What you need to do is click add plan. Then you can see I've added the chair, vice chair plan, so I can click it from here, but I'm going to scroll back up and show you how to go through my learning. In my learning, it's going to have all the learning plans that you have added. It's important that you add it. Then you click on the one that you want. I'm going to click on chair, vice chair. Then it's going to give you all the different modules. There's 4 modules. You can see acclimation, before the first meeting, first 30 days, and then 90 days. I'm going to click on acclimation. Then you can see it gives me the opportunity to launch the course. I'm not going to do that because it will really mess with the window, but you'll be able to see that it goes right into the video. If you have any problem with the course completing and then giving you credit, at the end of the course, you'll get a certificate.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So Dylan, we have one question in here. When will the districts have JTE again? Larry?
That's a good question. And what our response to that is for this year, especially, is that our district operational goals are going to be our main focus. And so like we showed the council operational goals, the districts are working right now. District chairs, you're working with your district executives and the key 3 to be able to determine those really significant, and we broke it down to 5 goals: Friends of Scouting, membership, camping opportunities, and then the key items that are inside of that. Those will be our journey to excellence for the 2021 year, so that we don't get too much into the weeds, because this year it's going to be really important that we focus in on those key items, get everything back on track. Then we'll see what we have for 2022. As some of you all are aware, the national office had moved away from tracking Journey to Excellence. That's why there are no district dials anymore or council dials. There are still pack and troop and crew, individual unit Journey to Excellence dials that they can benchmark themselves off of. But to answer that question, as a general rule, our benchmarks for the districts are going to be the district operational goals.
All right, we've got Dwayne Dominy asked, where will we find the details of the 9 new merit badges for the skilled trade?
I will defer to Larry or Bob on that one, on where the specific requirements for those merit badges would be housed. I am not 100% sure of that answer.
I am not either.
All right, well,
I'll have to get with Jason.
go ahead, Larry.
I know that Jason has those planned, and they should be part of the camp guidebook. I know it's auto mechanics, plumbing, home repair. I think there's architecture is actually one of them. So they're all part of the Scout Camp, Boxville Summer Camp guidebook. And I think they're on the Boxville website as well, but I'll check with Jason and make sure those are posted.
They are new to Boxville,
They
but
are.
not new merit badges to the program.
No, but Dwayne, that's a good question. And what we can do is we'll send, Fant and I'll work together. We'll send that information out to the district chairs so that you can get it to your teams and make sure that the camping department, pretty much anybody in the district can answer that question on those. And that'll be perfect to be able to send out.
One I left out is welding. I know welding is one of the new merit badges.
All right, what other questions? Dylan is going to also make available that last video that illustrated how to get to the online training on the website. So that'll come. That's sometimes that stuff's hard to follow in a video, but you'll be able to relook at it. Okay, Vivian Reynolds is asking about the online Cubmaster kit.
So Harry was
where to
nice enough
find-
to try to give me credit for that. That was his idea, and it's a really good idea too. And I've enjoyed working together with it. We've pulled in a lot of really good Cub leaders from across the council. We've still got a little bit of work left to do. Our focus and idea is that everything is going to be achievable for those new units, those restarting units that we're going to have all these leaders on in the lead up to the summer. So we've still got a little work that we have left to do. And then we're going to make it public to everybody. We're going to have a location on the council website, but then as well, your individual district can access the folders directly. And so you'll be able to go in and then access Vivian, the Cumberland River folder and be able to say and help any of those new Cubmasters that need some best practices to help them get off the ground. The other big thing that we're going to do is we're going to send a letter to each of those Cubmasters as soon as they're recruited. So your district committee, knowing those individuals, that's going to be really helpful because you can make sure that we get that communication to them in a timely manner. In that communication, in that email, it's going to have all of the links for where they can go specific to your district. And so when it is the Cumberland River folder, they'll just be able to click that folder and see the calendar, the suggested calendar of events that's relevant to Lebanon, to Carthage, and it'll be hikes and Pinewood Derby carvings at those local stores, at those local hiking locations, as opposed to something in, say, Columbia or something like that. So all of that is in the works right now. Something as well that Harry and I found out about that we're really excited about is a massive website that a separate council had done that gives detailed den descriptions on every single adventure that a leader is able to work on. And we're going to link everything to that. So it's something that's really exciting and something, honestly, we should have done for a while. And that's what Harry and I had talked about, was that it's a great idea. And I'm excited to be able to tackle it and have it as a library for us. And I would encourage everybody that if you've got documents, communicate with Harry and I on those. And it's going to be a working library. It's not going to stop. So whenever you're in there and you want to add anything to it, then let's do that. Good question, Vivian.
That is great. Great stuff. Going back to what Larry said to start the meeting, the Scout Strong program and the sprint out of COVID rather than the limp out of COVID. I think that's a great example of it. Man, the plans and enthusiasm, and it's really inspiring to see what's coming down the pike. Let's see. If y'all want to unmute yourself and ask a question, you're certainly welcome to. Let's see, Merit Badge Day.
A question about a very important training promotion, and I wanted to make sure I got the date correct. But the University of Scouting training that's coming up, right now, there's going to be a lot of communication about location. Right now, Boxwell. I know we had hoped that we were going to be able to go back to Holy Family, but we're going to have it at a location we can control. And so as of right now, it's going to be at Boxwell. It's March 20th. Really important training for all of our leaders in the district, for all of our district committee members. You'll be able to knock out your district committee training through the steps that we showed on the video online, but there's a lot of additional trainings that you may enjoy. And then it's also great to be able to go out to camp whenever you can and get your eyes on the new things and the things that are being built from all the campaigns. So March 20th, University of Scouting.
Will Merit Badge Days continue in addition to summer and winter camps?
Yes, Merit Badge Days are going to be something that are not going to go away, even when we get back to normal. We're going to keep doing that. It's been really well received. Summer camp is rocking and rolling. So just like Bob said, everything that you can do to promote that. I'm under the impression, and I've said it a lot, that scouting in general is a situation where it's already built, and the people that have maybe moved to the fringes are going to come right back in when we've got those great camping opportunities. But as well, we're going to augment in-person summer camp with Merit Badge Days, and that's going to be something that you'll get a lot of communication about in the future. If you don't like, or if you haven't liked our council Facebook page, it's the Middle Tennessee Council Facebook page, like it. The Merit Badge Days go up there. Jason Flannery, our camping director, as well has a Boxwell Reservation Facebook page that you would be able to like as well. And you get up-to-date, immediate information as soon as it's coming out from us through those locations.
Dylan, are you saying that district committee members can go to March 20th training at University of Scouting and get their district committee member at large training?
So no, really the only way that you're going to be able to get trained as a district committee member is through My.Scouting, because it is so in-depth.
Okay, I want to make sure that we understand that.
Very good. And so the items that would be at University of Scouting that you may want to go and participate in are just supplemental. They would be additional things that may help individuals on your committee be able to advise unit leaders a little bit better, but very much promote that training as a district committee and make sure that everybody knows it's coming up on March 20th.
But understand that the district committee member at large and others need to be done online in order for all the districts to increase their, the percentage of trained leaders, which in essence, helps the council.
That's exactly right. That's spot on. And that's why we would ask if you are available to just schedule out some time to knock that training out online.
What is
Sorry. All I see is thank you. What is the date of?
No. Woody's asking what happened to the meeting in the box kits from the past. They were for Cubs.
Okay. So the day camp in the box. Right now, day camp is planned as usual going forward. But we do have a plan B that if contrary to my hope and optimism that everything is not back to normal by that point, we will have our day camp in a box as a fallback. Whether or not we're going to do the quarterly Cub Scout activities in a box is still a bit up in the air. Our October activity didn't have quite as much of a response as our summer camp, our day camp in a box activity. And so we're still trying to, really by the end of the week, I can communicate whether or not we're going to move forward with our Pinewood Derby in a box, and then the other items that we had planned on doing on a quarterly basis. But As of right now, those are tabled. They're not 100% confirmed because from what we're hearing, a lot of our units are getting back to normal. About 75% of our units are meeting. We've got 25% of them that are not meeting. And hopefully as school begins to get back into session all across Middle Tennessee Council in person, our groups will begin to look for opportunities to be able to meet in person. So that would hopefully alleviate that necessity of the in the box programming. Good question, Woody.
Dylan? This is Woody. What I was referring to was it was called a meeting in a box. It came out for Cubs, I want to say about 10 or 12 years ago, and it was sold in a scout shop, and it was a kit for like new Cub Masters, new den leaders, and it had like little craft kits in it and stuff like that, and they could purchase that. And we were talking about it at our district committee meeting here a couple of months ago, and you know, maybe if, and I've searched for them and can't find them, but you may want to talk to Joe Priester, and it may be something that for new units to help them get off their feet and grow and expand, you know, and get these brand new leaders, you know, where the butterflies are swirling in their stomach to help them calm down a little bit. So they're excited about the program as all of us folks on this meeting are tonight.
You know,
Sorry, I completely understand what you're.
In fact, I know for a fact the National Supply discontinued those, but we'll double check to make sure that's correct.
And that is one thing that Harry and I had discussed, and Woody, real quick, the reason that we didn't go down that road of putting all of the items into a box is just logistics individually. But we still are going to do a deliverable to our new Cub Masters. We're still hashing that out, but we talked about having a s'mores making kit, some items that will work towards den flag creation. And that's the first activity that they do at that first meeting, where they create those den flags, and then the kids have some pride in their den group and something that they have a hangy down thing on for the different things that they do throughout the year. We're still hashing all of that out, and we are going to front the cost of that. It's going to be relatively cheap for what we send to the unit leaders, but it's going to be something that'll really help them when they open up that box to have their first meeting and have some confidence going into it.
But there's got to be some support and understanding, some training to those new leaders. That's the issue that we're all having across the council, across the nation. We've got to try, you know, it's great that we have this box, but we've got to focus on, at the Cub Scout level, those new unit leaders, from the Cub Master to the den leaders to the committee chair.
That's spot on. That's exactly right. I mean, that, and as a district committee, that's one of our chief focuses, because where the individuals are falling out of the district, it revolves directly around our leaders feeling confident in what they're doing in the program that we're delivering. And when they take training, that gives them confidence. And that's something that can't be overstated, that it's going to be really helpful to make sure that everybody knows the ease of online training and the importance of online training.
And in-person training.
Exactly right. That's right. And again, University of Scouting coming up March 20th, that in-person element, position specific, they are definitely going to be able to knock that out, ask any questions of peers, and learn some best practices there.
Is there an effort to provide good info on each district calendar on the Middle Tennessee Council? That's a constant struggle.
Yeah,
I
big
mean, in every
question,
organization.
and something that we haven't made all the progress we need to, but we've made a lot of progress recently. We've got an individual named Zach Ross who is handling that exclusively to make sure that our programs are synced up. As soon as your district committee communicates your dates, and if anything at any point is not updated and is wrong or inaccurate, please communicate that immediately. We've got really minutes of a turnaround. So as soon as you let us know that something's not accurate, then we're able to have it updated. And as well, our executives are updating the calendars for your district each month after your district committee meeting. And so any date that's getting added or adjusted, it's going to go onto the council calendar and then gets synced immediately by Zach.
That's another great example of sprinting out of this. I mean, that's a tough thing to manage, but y'all are on top of it. All right. Let's see. Is there an effort to provide any virtual component for University of Scouting should on-site attendance not be possible?
That is something that's being discussed right now. We actually discussed that last week about what our plan B is to make sure that that we're in the right shape to be able to pivot if we need to. But as of right now, everything is planned for being there at Boxwell, being able to spread out where we have our locations, very similar to the way that we did it in the fall. And but as a plan B, we do have some routes that we'll be able to go to share our training electronically if that happens. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, we're teed up for it.
What can council do to help districts and units with the diversity, equity, and inclusion merit badge?
Yeah, that's a great question and something that's really important to the council as well. The national office did table it. And so they're making some tweaks, and we're keeping our ear to the ground on that because there's a lot of moving parts that we have that are critical to that. As well, I think the most important thing that we can do is communicate and make sure that as soon as that merit badge is completed and identified, that you all see it on the Facebook page, that all of our district chairs, especially on our operating committee, that we get that information to you immediately. And that way you're able to get it to your unit leaders, especially those scout troops, to make sure that that item is taken care of on all of our future Eagles. But anything that you can do once we have the specific wording from National to be able to promote that, that's going to be an added bonus for us. Larry, I think I got that one. If you want to add anything on that.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Hey, while I have the floor here, the merit badges being offered at the Skilled Trade Center are welding, automotive maintenance, plumbing, painting, home repairs, electricity, architecture, and American business and labor.
Perfect.
Great.
Larry, there was a request, if you want to just share real quick the improvements that we have made at Boxwell and then the things that are coming up.
A lot of people haven't been to Boxwell, unfortunately, and tell us what's going on.
Well, we have two new shower houses. They're 10 stalls. They're self-contained with a sink, shower, and toilet. One of the new ones is in Camp Craig. The other one's in Camp Stallman. And we have an additional one being built in Camp Stallman by summer camp. So those are the things there. We do have the new ATV program that will be started this summer. It was supposed to be started last summer. So that's going to be a new program as well. And of course, the Skilled Trade Center, which we mentioned earlier.
Right. All right, the questions have slowed down. We've kept you 18 minutes over what we hoped, but any other questions here?
I just want to add that the district training chairs are trying to get their information out on position specific training for all the different Cubs and Scouts BSA. And we also have Blue and IOLST. We're going to be giving this out to all the districts where we're having it, and we need to support that because a train leader provides great opportunity for our units. So please look for that stuff and please help us in this endeavor.
Amen.
Couldn't have said that better.
Right.
I will say my last thing, if there's nothing else, and then I'll let Fant close this. But I just want to say, number one, thank you to the individuals that gave of their time to present. This is a big opportunity to be able to get everybody on the same page. But then number two, I cannot thank you all enough for the time and dedication that you're putting in to the program in your community. We flat out would not be able to do this to the capacity that we do it without you. And I just want to reiterate, say as many times as I can, every opportunity that I get, how much I appreciate you all. Your volunteering heart and spirit is really impressive. And we've got the best volunteers in Middle Tennessee Council, in my opinion, throughout the country. I've been in just a couple of spots, but you all do an incredible job, and I just can't thank you enough for that. So I'll hand it over.
You all are the reason this program is successful in Middle Tennessee. These 100 and whatever people are responsible for that, and we are grateful, and the youth of this area are grateful. So thank you all for coming, for sticking with us through approaching 2 hours. Thanks for what you do for the program too. Until next time.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all.